Have you ever hitchhiked before? Who could have imagined that hitchhiking would end up this way? Before we dive into our story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Enjoy watching. Malia Thompson, a spirited and adventurous young black woman, always dreamed of traveling the world. Her best friend, Emily Harper, a calm and logical white woman, was the perfect companion to make this dream come true. The two young women made a bold decision to hitchhike their way around the world. Starting from America, this grand adventure promised to be a journey filled with freedom and discovery. Their first stop was the rural roads of California. While waiting for a ride, a truck driver agreed to pick them up. The driver was friendly, but gave a cryptic farewell, saying, "Be careful on your journey. The roads sometimes hide unexpected secrets." They laughed it off and continued their trip with excitement. The first strange event occurred in the Nevada desert. Out of nowhere, an old car appeared in the distance. The driver, without speaking, gestured for them to get in. Malia and Emily accepted, but the car's atmosphere felt unnervingly eerie. Looking out the windows, they noticed the scenery constantly shifting as if the landscape was alive. Suddenly, the driver slammed the brakes and said, "Get out." Confused, they stepped out of the car and found themselves surrounded by dunes with an abandoned building in the distance. The driver left without another word, and the car vanished as quickly as it had appeared. It was the first sign that hitchhiking might not be as safe as they had imagined. The building turned out to be an old, abandoned gas station. Seeking shelter for the night, they went inside. Once there, an old radio turned on by itself, playing a haunting children's song. Emily tried to turn it off, but Malia heard a whisper from the back room saying, "You need to leave." The next morning, they pushed aside their fears and continued. They managed to flag down another car driven by a middle-aged woman and her young son. Initially, the ride was uneventful, but the woman suddenly turned to Emily and asked, "Do you know what you've brought with you on this journey?" When Emily asked what she meant, the woman abruptly stopped the car and left them at a deserted crossroad. As the days passed, the occurrences became stranger. One night, while camping in a forest, they noticed strange lights in the sky. Emily saw shadows moving inside the tent, while Malia claimed to hear distant laughter that sounded like a child. When they reached Mexico, an elderly woman at a village entrance handed them a small cloth bag. She said, "This will protect you," and gave them a necklace with strange symbols. Malia dismissed it as superstition, but Emily decided to keep it. Traveling from Mexico to Colombia, they caught a ride with a truck driver who seemed overly cautious, frequently checking his rearview mirror. When Emily glanced back, she saw nothing, but Malia felt as if someone was breathing behind her. At a hotel one night, Emily encountered something terrifying in the bathroom mirror. Instead of her reflection, she saw the decaying face of a stranger smiling and saying, "I'm glad you've made it this far." She screamed and ran out to tell Malia. The idea of hitchhiking was becoming unbearable, but their budget left them no choice. In Peru, a couple picked them up on a mountainous route. Suddenly, thick fog enveloped the car, revealing shadowy figures in the mist. Emily swore she saw someone staring at them through the back window. On Bolivia's infamous death road, they could no longer find rides and had to walk. As they navigated the narrow path, they heard footsteps behind them, though no one was there. Emily panicked, insisting they're following us. By the time they reached Brazil, the events had grown unbearable. One night, they woke to whispers outside their tent, distinctly calling their names. Emily stepped outside but found nothing but silence. During another hitchhike, a mysterious man joined them as a passenger. He never spoke, only staring out the window. Emily noticed he had no reflection in the car windows, which sent chills down her spine. When the man suddenly got out, he left behind a note that read, "I'll always be with you." Malia couldn't make sense of it, but Emily was convinced he was a ghost. By the time they reached Argentina, both women were consumed by fear. At night, they felt an unseen presence sitting near them, and Emily's necklace vibrated and grew inexplicably warm. Their journey turned into a waking nightmare. Emily frequently dreamed of a dark figure saying, "You must find me." Meanwhile, Malia woke up with inexplicable scratches on her arms. They sought guidance from a priest who warned them, "A dark entity is following you. You unleashed it, and now it feeds on you to stop it." They needed to return to where their journey began. On the flight back to America, the tension followed them. A mysterious old woman seated beside them muttered, "Your journey will never truly end," before vanishing into thin air. Once home, they performed a ritual near the spot where they had started hitchhiking. As they did, the sky darkened and shadowy figures emerged around them. Though the ritual seemed to bring peace, both Malia and Emily continued to hear whispers calling their names at night. Deep down, they knew the nightmare was far from over.